Hello, welcome to the session 5 of Unit 1 of Principles of Economics. Remember, we are looking at general principles of economics for the Unit 1, and we have looked at economics and its scope. We have also looked at important concepts like scarcity, choice, opportunity cost. And what we want to do in this session is to give attention to another important term from which the word economics was derived. We are talking about economy. So we almost every day hear about this word being mentioned in the news and various discussions. For example, people say that the economy is improving, others may say the economy is in shambles, and so on and so forth. But have you come to ask yourself, what really is this economy that people talk about? They say Ghana's economy this. So what is economy? Yeah. Anyways, so just study the following subsections we are going to go through carefully, and you will be in a position to explain to everybody what an economy is and how it works. By the end of this session, we believe that you should be able to define an economy in your own words and also describe the functions of an economy. You should also be able to identify decision makers of an economy. Who decides for an economy? Now, let's look at what an economy is. Have you heard of the phrase like the Ghanaian economy is tough nowadays or the US economy is booming? Have you heard of it before? So, having heard of that, what comes to your mind? What then is an economy? What then is an economy? So, this my brother here is thinking about what an economy is. What is an economy? All right. Let's take our time to go through what an economy is. An economy is actually a mechanism. It is a mechanism that allocates scarce resources among competing uses. So the main thing is that there is a mechanism that allocates scarce resources among competing uses. And the mechanism actually achieves the following. So the mechanism achieves what goods and services would be produced and in what quantities. We also look at how would the various goods and services be produced. How would they be produced? So we want to know, how do we get these goods and services? We need these particular goods and services to be able to meet the demand, but how would they be produced, and from whom will the various goods and services be produced? How will full employment be achieved? You get it? And how will economic growth and development be achieved from the production of these goods and services? To actually understand how the economy works, we must identify its major parts and see how they interact with each other. And the working parts of an economy actually falls into two categories. We have the decision makers, and we also have the coordination mechanism. What does the decision maker do? A decision maker. What is the role of a decision maker? What do they do? A decision maker is actually any person or organized group of persons that make choices. They make choices, they make decisions. And then what is the meaning of a coordination mechanism? We are looking at mechanisms or arrangement that coordinates or harmonize the individual economic choices. Simple as that. Now, let's look more into the decision makers. Now, they fall into three different groups. The decision makers, those who make choices. Alright, they fall into three groups. We have the households, we have the firms, and we also have the government. What do we mean by the household? The household, we are talking about any group of people living together as a decision making unit. Here, every individual actually in the economy belongs to a household. So you and I, we belong to a household. Some households consist of a single person, while others consist either of families or related individuals or families of unrelated individuals. We are looking at maybe you are staying in a home, you are the only person staying, or you are staying in a home with your mother and your father, you are staying in a home with your husband or your wife, you are staying in a home with other people who are not really related to you, such as let's say 2 or 3 students sharing an apartment. So when you go to campus, or maybe you go the regular student, they normally reside in hostels, they may not know their roommates from the house, but when they come to campus, the school decides who becomes their roommate. For the level 100, maybe level 200, when they are moving from the various halls, then they get to choose their own roommate because they are going to a particular hostel and they can decide with a friend that, hey, let's go to this hostel together. But for the level 100, they may not know themselves, so the school may put them, let's say 2 or 3 people together in a particular room. So they may be a household, but they are not related. So they will share the apartment. And individuals in the household aim at maximizing their satisfaction derived from the consumption of what goods and services. Now, how about the firm? A firm is actually firm is an organization that produces goods and services. See, we said the individual, the household, their main focus is consumption. They look at getting the maximum satisfaction from consuming particular goods and services. However, the firm, they look at producing goods and services, and all producers are actually called firms. So let's say Coca-Cola, Nestle, and all the other firms, they are actually called producers. No matter how big or small they may be, pure water firms, they are all called producers. Let's say farmers, can makers, banks, insurance companies, they are all firms. And the major aim of a firm is to maximize profit. The firm producing goods and services, their focus is to maximize profits from what they are producing. And the last thing we're going to talk about are decision makers is government. What is a government? A government is an organization. A government is an organization that has two functions. What? Two functions. And what are these functions? The functions of the government is to one, provide goods and services to households, and also redistribution of what income and wealth. So we ask you, what are the two functions of a government? One, provide goods and services to households, and what? Redistribution of income and wealth. Example of goods and services supplied by the government are national defense, law enforcement, public health, transportation, and education. And actually the aim of the government is to maximize social welfare. That brings us to the end of this session. See you in the next session. That is the last session for this unit 1. In the last session, we're going to talk about the types of economic systems. Thank you.